I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Why? Say it!
Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Good answer. Good answer.
Good morning and welcome to the War Room with myself, Bob Quinn, and Trent King, and we are going to break down today the game. But before we get to that, a couple of interesting news and notes we were just talking about. Apparently, the weather is going to be a factor. Trent, you heard there were tarps on the field already?
Yeah, I was just looking right before we got on. So it looks like they pulled the tarps off now. Brooke Pryor posted a video. It doesn't look pretty though out there. It's pretty cloudy. So said weather on deck.
It's interesting because Aaron Rodgers has stated how much he likes playing in weather games, and he feels like the offense has a big advantage. Do we feel like this could potentially help Shedeur Sanders? Actually, he looked pretty good in the Titans game and what amounted to a rainstorm.
Yeah, take it into consideration. It's the Titans, but he was very up and down that game. I was watching through some of that game, and because that was his big game. Don't have the stat line right in front of me. But he went for like 364 yards, I think, in that game. Had a couple of touchdowns. So I tried to go through a good chunk of that game to see some of the things that he was doing well. And I mean, he was very much a rookie, up and down, very good throws at times, very bad throws at times, but the weather did not look like it affected him from what I could tell at all. I thought he actually looked fine in the weather, so I don't think that's going to be an issue for him at all.
Does help that he played in Colorado, I think.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're familiar with our podcast, and we hope you are, you know that there's a ongoing Shedeur versus Jackson dart going. Look, you know, Shedeur, for all his faults, and he has many, he's never going to be a star in this league. I actually think he throws a pretty nice deep ball when he has time. I do think he makes some really horrible decisions, and I hope he makes a whole bunch of those today. But yeah, kind of like you said, a rookie is a rookie. So, you know, Tomlin has had a lot of success against rookie quarterbacks in his career. I think he's only lost to a rookie 4 times.
Yeah, he's like 27-4 or something.
Yeah, and they really made Dylan Gabriel look bad when they played him the first time. So hopefully the defense, even though TJ's not playing, and you got to think that's killing him on a day that Miles might get the sack record, that TJ doesn't want to be out there and dominate the game and tear it away from him a little bit. But
yeah, for sure.
And then, of course, be interesting to see who Aaron Rodgers is going to throw the ball to today.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see exactly what we're going to be doing on offense, because I'm not sure anybody's 100% certain of how this thing is going to play out, but I think we have a good game plan today, Bob.
This could be a classic Steelers-Browns type of game where, you know, there's a lot of hitting and a lot of defense and not a lot of scoring. So, yes, we are awake. It's game day. Let's jump right into some film. Trent, who did you decide to highlight this week?
I know the people are going to think this is a little bit of a controversy, but we got Connor Hayward getting the highlight this week. Connor Hayward's been doing some really good things out of the I formation, and I think that I've highlighted a couple plays off the offset I that I want to see maybe utilized today. So this is going to kind of play hand in hand with what I want game plan wise. So we're going to go to the Lions game with Connor Hayward. You'll see him motion back into the I formation. He ends up being the lead back and gets a great block on Jack Campbell. You see Jack Campbell in the middle of the screen there. He's the linebacker on the left side, on the top side of the screen. The way Connor cuts back, I love the way he sets this thing up. So I think if we see this thing again from the next angle, you can tell he's been a running back in his collegiate career, because watch the way he sells this thing to the outside along with Kenneth Gainwell. I thought they sold this motion to counter back inside really, really well. You see the lines start shifting that way. Connor's headed. I mean, this looks like right now, by all accounts, this is going to be an outside run. Anzalone starts flowing, see how he starts flowing, and that allows Zach Frazier to climb. And then it's just one-on-one between Jack Campbell and Connor Hayward. Connor comes up, ends up getting a nice block on Campbell. Great seal. You see a really, really good push there from Mason McCormick. It's a big gain. I mean, that's number one, a great combination by the offense, but also I thought a really good job by Connor Hayward leading the way through that hole. That's something that we talked about last time. If you guys watched War Room last time when we played the Browns, up the middle is a place where I think they can be had. There's another edge that we're going to be seeing here later on, but I think that's something that it was a really nice play, really great job blocking by the offensive line. And Connor Hayward, I think we've given him a ton of shit, Bob, a ton of shit for his lack of blocking ability. But I'm telling you what, out of the eye, he's really starting to put it together.
Yeah, and I think it's a really interesting thing for the Steelers here. This is another example of where the coaching staff tried to make him into a tight end so he could make the roster when he should have been a fullback the whole time. Look, I've said this many times. There has not been a tight end as small as Cameron Hayward, or as Connor Hayward in 50 plus years. Actually, you have to go all the way back to the 1950s to find a 6'2" tight end. But he was a good fullback at Michigan State. He's showing that if you line him up in the backfield, because if you watch his tape at tight end when he tries to block, he gets tossed around like he's nothing.
Yeah.
But in from the fullback position and these coming in motion blocks, he does a really good job.
Yeah, he does. And we're going to see that again on the next play. Here he's going to come motion back into the I formation again. And this whole play starts with Dylan Cook and Anderson getting a nice double team block. And then you see Cook come off, get a piece of Anzalone. But the way that Connor climbs to the next level on this play again, I thought was a great job. So you'll see from the outside here, Cook and Anderson really kick this thing off. But Hayward gets a nice kick out. And then you also have a pulling Mason McCormick on this. So here comes McCormick. You see the two on the left double team. McCormick pulls, he takes his guy, and then ends up basically letting him go right around where he wants him to go. Anzalone tries to be the outside contain. Connor comes through. Nice little kick out block right here. And you see just guys climbing to the next level from there. You'll see, again, Cook, he's coming off the double team, climbing to the next level to get Jack Campbell. This is just really, really good blocking by the offensive line. But again, man, Connor is doing his job out of these looks. And he had a nice kick out on Anzalone. So we've seen one on Jack Campbell. You see one on Anzalone. These are the guys who should be making these plays in space. The linebackers should be eating these plays up. And he's doing a great job of finding them, diagnosing, making contact, and not allowing them to get to the next level. By the way, I forgot to point out, MVS had a really nice block downfield on the safety on that one too.
Yeah, and let's not get it twisted. Alex Anzalone and Jack Campbell are pretty darn good against the run. They are not blocking third teamers out there.
No. And Campbell's kind of their run stuff. I mean, that's why they drafted that kid out of Iowa. He was a run stuffing guy. I mean, he could run, but I mean, he brings a toughness to that defense, and neither of those guys are slouches. You're absolutely right. So here we go again, another play where we're going to motion him into the backfield. Another example of how he does a great job of setting up the run lane. So this is another one where I thought he does a great job setting this thing up. It looks as if he's going outside. Bam, there's that counter back into the middle. Jack Campbell again picks him up, and this is what springs Jalen Warren for that big touchdown. I mean, this looked, again, they set this thing up as if it's going to be an outside run. Connor does his part to sell this thing too. And if the fullback does not sell it, this thing does not work. I'm sorry, but it takes everybody on these run plays to make it work. Connor sells the outside, and then you can see the Lions, see him start all shifting. Everybody on the Lions team is shifting. And then Connor's going to kick back. McCormick does a great job, really, of reach blocking here, I thought, as well. He does his reach block, gets his guy moved out of the way, and then here comes Connor. Jack Campbell should have been a guy coming to attack this. Connor's got him picked up, and then even DK Metcalf here on the outside gets just enough to spring Jalen Warren. And, I mean, you give Jalen any crease. He doesn't need much. And then the tush push. We've bitched for years that we can't pick up short yardage. The tush push has been a big thing. I thought this would just be kind of a funny piece. But listen, it's worked. I mean, he's
Yeah.
converting these on a really, really high rate, and there is a little bit of a science to it. You got to find the soft spots, and not everybody's just going to be able to go under center and make this play. I mean, it seems simple because it's just push forward, but between what he and Darnell Washington do in these push plays, like, I mean, how many have they missed? Have they missed
A couple.
many? Just a couple. I mean, they're converting at a high rate. So, love the tush push. Took us 3 years too late to implement it. You know, Eagles have only been doing it forever. But
if you want to get it banned, let the Steelers start being successful at it.
yeah, that'll get it banned. And then DMC3 is here to introduce the Steelers offense, of course, with the Heisman pose. Oh, God. All right. So, hold on. Pause this for just a second. So here's something that I want to talk about. So we got to make sure Myles Garrett does not wreck this game. Mason Graham has been playing a lot better from the interior than what we saw in the first game against the Cleveland Browns. He's looking more like a first-round rookie. But the key to this, everybody knows, you cannot let Myles Garrett wreck this game. So we're going to go back and forth a little bit on some of the things that I think we can do to neutralize Myles Garrett, both in the run game and in the pass game. The first one's going to be in the run game. So the Bills are going to come out in the offset eye. So talking about Connor Hayward, here's why I'm highlighting Connor Hayward. They're going to go in the offset eye. And this is what we saw a lot in the Detroit game. I love this little pitch play, but watch how Cook cuts this upside. This is not like a stretch play where you're just trying to get outside of everybody. This is a zone blocking scheme, which is what the Steelers like to do. You'll see the offensive linemen start climbing up to the next level, and the fullback does his job to pick up his guy out in space. And James Cook, rather than just trying to get the edge, he gets upfield off tackle. See the tackle? Here comes the guard from the backside. You'll see the fullback out in space, and Cook has the speed to make this thing work against a very fast Cleveland defense, but they are smaller once you get to the second level. And you see these big guys get out in front, and Cook has nothing but daylight. He just gets it straight upfield. I think this is something that both Kenneth Gainwell and Jaylen Warren really could be effective with in this game. And it was that quick little toss play. It wasn't like the turn and pitch. It's just that quick little, shovel toss that helps make that thing go and get it. It's more of like a speed toss play, which I really, really liked. I think that's something that we could do. And it's also running the play away from Myles Garrett, which limits his impact on the game. That's something that the Bills tried to focus on in this game. I thought we saw them run a lot more away from Myles Garrett. I want us to do the same thing. So here's
it really
the thing.
Frustrates him too.
Can you pause this one for a second too?
Yeah.
So here is a play. Everybody's going to ask, how are we going to slow down Myles Garrett and help Cook out? That's going to be the biggest talking point out of everybody all morning long until this game starts, because we've seen Dylan Cook very seldomly, right? He's not played a lot. It's a couple of games now. And his competition's kind of ramped up a little bit, but he didn't see a ton of Aiden Hutchinson. He saw a few plays from Aiden Hutchinson. He's going to see a lot of Myles Garrett. So this is a whole different animal that he's going to be facing today. Here's exactly what Buffalo did with Dawkins, who's a really good left tackle. And I think we can do some of the same things. So they're in 11 personnel. They shift them over. Oh, this might be so they're going to run Dawkins all the way around. And this ends up being a little, this is a different play. I'm sorry. I was in a different set.
I might have been out of order.
Okay, that's okay. I like the speed of this play too. So this is the one where they do the quick rollout, the little bootleg. Again, this is another Gainwell or Warren play right here. I like the way, again, they're going to run this thing away. You see how wide Myles Garrett gets at times? This is like something I'd like to see on a first down play maybe, because Buffalo, they're just going to try to keep them off their toes in this. So I think the way that they came out in this, I think they had successful runs, and then they bootleg this thing out, get the defense shifting one way. This should have been a release pitch and catch. Cook just flat dropped it. But that little speed play right there to get out to the edge where you get one of the running backs in the easy 10 yards, yardage is going to come at a premium in this game. So anytime you could get an easy, quick little look like that could take up 8 8-10 yards, I really want to see that all day long.
And I think that's the kind of thing when Aaron sees him go out that wide, that we may see some audibles into that little play action that they like to run with Darnell out in the flat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's Garrett lines up so wide, he kind of takes himself out of the play unless you're going to either A, run right at him, or B, just do a straight drop back. I'm kind of surprised he gets so far out, knowing that, hey, if teams see that, it should be an easy, hey, we're just going to roll right away from you, and there's no way you can get there.
Yeah.
Unless it's Russell Wilson holding the ball.
Sometimes he likes that little counter move where he tries to like get inside of you. He'll do that little jump swim move where he tries to get inside because he tries to get these tackles out really, really wide and give space between him and the guard. But sometimes you're right, it does kind of take him out of the play. Excuse me. All right. So the next one here, this is another play. So look right here where they have the wide receiver. He's lined up directly over top of Myles Garrett. This is another thing where if you want to neutralize a guy, he has to line up wide because he has to stay outside the widest guy. A lot of times in these formations, they push him inside and just watch the Buffalo line talk. I don't even care what the result of the play was on this one, to be perfectly honest with you. I was solely focused on what happened with Myles Garrett on this play. It gives Josh Allen time and it eliminates some of that pass rush, something we could definitely do with Cook. Here's the other angle of it where you can see that's Zacchaeus, and he's a decent sized wide receiver. He's just going to line up right there directly over top of Myles Garrett. And what this is it gives you a chip opportunity. Garrett knows the chip's coming, but you see the left guard point out at Garrett. That's them talking. They're talking about where he is on the field, and that's letting them know exactly what to do. So this was another look that I isolated out of the offset eye, another quick pitch play. And it works. Again, he's not just stretching straight to the sidelines, something the Pittsburghs try to do too often, I think, in ours because we do those slow pitch. This thing's another one of those quick pitch type things where they just try to hurry up, snap it. Josh Allen gets around quickly, gets that ball in the hands of Cook very quickly. You see the guys on the edge seal their guys up really, really well, and it opens this thing up because everyone else just starts climbing to the next level. And again, Cleveland's secondary and linebacker Schlesinger is a decent size, but the other guys, actually, he's not very big either. He's just slow. The other guys are pretty slow. I mean, they're 230-pound linebackers. They're not very big. So I just thought that was a great way to kind of isolate some things to really make things work. You're running away from Myles Garrett. You're getting help from Myles Garrett. And then it's the key to this game, especially now that Isaac Seumalo is not going to be playing, is those three guys between Zach Frazier, Spencer Anderson, and/or Andres Pete when he's in the game, and Dylan Cook have got to communicate. They have to communicate. When Myles tries to do those things where he loops around, Frazier has to be aware. We have to slide the protections to the right sides and make sure that we have everybody in line for him because he can wreck a game really, really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And, this is a game that'll be interesting because we're without DK Metcalf, but I feel like if you can get this running game going early and often, that there's going to be a lot of play action opportunities down the field. And honestly, I think a wet field where it neutralizes a little bit of speed may work to the advantages of guys like Thielen and Pat Freiermuth, guys who are a little bit more tactician route runners. And I think it'll be very dangerous to play some man-to-man on a wet field.
Yeah. And they're going to play a lot of man-to-man. It's just going to staple their team. So I'm going to talk about Cleveland's offense before we get into this real quick. So there's a lot of talk about Dylan Sampson, the other rookie. I actually think we're going to see a lot of Raheem Morris in this game as the lead guy, with Sampson going to be the guy who swings it out wide. We're actually going to highlight the entire first series from Cleveland against Buffalo. So you can see how Kevin Stefanski is drawing up a game plan here just to try to get Shedeur going. Look at this little easy toss outside to the running back. Ends up gaining really good yardage. Thank God Quinshon Judkins is not playing in this game. But I think this is an important thing. Stefanski is just drawing up nice, easy things, getting this offense moving, trying to get some confidence in the offense so that Shedeur Sanders has a nice rhythm going into the game. And this could have set a tone because this really ended up being a 23-20 game. And you can just see what they're doing. I mean, they're just trying to take nice things, easy things as you watch this thing progress. So here's Shadur. Another little handoff. Good yardage. Staying ahead of the sticks. So it's 2 good carries right in a row. This is going to be interesting to see, can Raheem Morris pick those yards up without having him in the game. Judkins is such a big part of their offense. I'm curious to see if they change this, but you're going to just watch this entire drive, how they're just literally game planning to make everything easy on Shadur. Get the sticks moving, stay ahead of the yardage, make sure that his throws are easy pitch and catch type throws. Playing out of the shotgun. Now you ran it twice, play action, quick, easy throw out to Fannin. These throws are not beyond the line of scrimmage, and he does not throw a lot of yards beyond 5 yards. So, we are a lot of throws beyond 5 yards. So we talked about what Aaron Rodgers looked like early in the season. Shadur looks pretty much exactly the same. A lot of throws behind the line of scrimmage, a lot of throws that are just going to be quick, easy routes. His problem is he holds the ball too long, and you can see Stefanski is just trying to get it out of his hands. And that's the thing. We know Shadur will hold the ball, and he will try to play hero ball. So you can see Stefanski trying to get him into a rhythm of, hey, get this out of your hands quickly. Another just, here's a quick reverse.
I think a lot of this stuff doesn't necessarily work without Judkins, to be honest with you.
I know, but you can just see like the game planning. I was more focused on the game planning of the way that Stefanski was setting this up for Shadur. Like, I mean, these are nice, easy plays where you keep the ball moving. You're not getting, you're down in distances, aren't getting behind, and then it keeps the playbook open for him. And you can see easy throws. This was a 2-read throw. They run a double post route, or not double post route, double in breaking routes. And you see the first read, he just looks straight to the right, not there. Second guy, right there, get rid of the ball. And that's just what Stefanski's trying to do for him. Like, they know he has a problem holding the ball, and you can just see easy throws, easy reads. We're not going to make you read the whole field right now. This isn't what you're going to do. This is what you do with a rookie quarterback. And they were doing that a lot, and they were leaning on this run game. And this was just Judkins making a play because that should have been a 3-yard loss. Mm-hmm. That's a big key. You're right. Him not being in this game is going to be massive because Raheem Sanders is a big boy. He's 230 pounds, but he doesn't move like Judkins. Look at that. I mean, that should have been a loss.
Yeah, he's just wiggling his way. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, Raheem Sanders, Greg says Raheem Sanders would have been a nice lower round pickup. And here's the touchdown pass. Again, off the running game, get a little play action, get some misdirection so that the defense flows one way, and they just slip Fannin right out for a nice easy pitch and catch. See the motion? He comes back in that motion. And nobody picked him up out of the backfield. And that is something they do with Fannin a lot too. They will kind of motion him around. So this was the Titans tape here. So this is something that Shadur got a lot of help on big plays with just a shit ton of yak. I thought he did struggle against man coverage, but these are the things he's capable of against zone coverage because the safety bit down way too hard on this, who I think was Hooker. Hooker came down way too hard on this route. They ran a crossing pattern underneath, had 2 post patterns on the backside. Hooker gets too far downfield. I thought he had a blown coverage, to be honest with you. But again, Shadur finds the guy open. He's good at those re-diagnosed quick throw plays where he can get the ball downfield, and he's very, very accurate. So this was another one. This one was against man coverage, so it's not like he can't throw. This was a great touch throw right here. You see Fannin running a little bit of a wheel route right here on the linebacker. That's a mismatch. That's a mismatch all day, and they want to get that guy in advantageous situations. And Shadur does put this ball right up on the money over top of the linebacker on this play. So Shadur's got plenty of problems, but he can make some good throws too. So I wouldn't look at him as the same as the Dylan Gabriel thing at all.
All right, then. Remove this from stage, and looks like the stream is temporarily unavailable.
Uh-oh.
It saying due to policy violations. Maybe we showed a little too much film today.
maybe we shouldn't have went through the whole first drive.
Yeah, maybe we should have broke that up a little bit.
All right. So I think the interesting thing is we need to break the Browns script on the first drive of the game, because I think really that is, you can see what they're trying to do. They're really trying to get Shedeur and the offense in a nice rhythm. And if we can break that rhythm and we can start getting them into third and long situations, that's where he holds the ball. That's where we can get the pass rush in. That's where we can get the turnovers. So we really need to break that first drive script for them, because Stefanski, for all of his issues as a head coach, he's a pretty good offensive play caller. I mean, I'd say he's an above average play caller in the league. So he does know what he's doing. He knows how to design offenses. He knows how to design plays. And they did change the way they played since Shedeur's been the quarterback, as opposed to what they had with Flacco and Dylan Sampson. Or Dylan Sampson. Now I'm on Dylan Sampson. Dylan Gabriel. So.
All right, then. All right. Well, we are still live on Twitter, so if you're watching us, we're watching us on YouTube. Hopefully, you catch on that you can go to X and watch us. But we've got some keys to victory for today, and let's take a look at what they are.
Defensive pressure. I would blitz the hell out of Shedeur Sanders, speed up the game for him. One of the things that I felt like once he gets off his first read, much like a lot of these young quarterbacks, they struggle to work through progressions, and the game is a lot faster for them. So I would blitz and speed the game up even more for him. That is where he tends to like make those panic throws where he's trying to squeeze something in and he gets a deflection off a defender that ends up being picked, or he tries to squeeze a throw into a place where it shouldn't be. As I said, he likes to play hero ball. So I think putting a lot of pressure on him. The only key to this is the Browns will run a lot of screen plays. And if you continue to blitz and you get really, really just too obvious with it, they're going to start slipping a lot of screens back behind you. So I would bring it from different angles. I want to see him come out of the A-gap. So I think he is a better scrambler going upfield than he is going sideline to sideline. So I would love to see some A-gap blitzing between Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson, or Herbig, even when we run those three. Well, we can't run the three linebacker set unless they do with Sawyer.
And just a programming note, if you were hung in on YouTube, we are back live now. So we will not make the film mistake again. Sorry, YouTube.
we tried.
We tried. We went a little bit overboard. Yeah, honestly, I do think this is a game too where we may see, like you thought last week, we would see Derek Harmon start to really impact on the passing game. I do think Derek Harmon, Y.A. Black, Keanu Benton, because they're going to sell out to stop Cam Hayward. They're so familiar. I think those three will have opportunities one-on-one, and I think you're right. If we could send 5 at him, and I just don't feel like they can match up and block Harmon, Benton, Black, and Highsmith. You can't block those guys one-on-one. Not with the current line the way it's constituted.
And sending 5 also gives you an opportunity to give those one-on-one matchups with Alex Highsmith and Nick Herbig. And those guys are going to win. They're just going to win more often than not. So you want to create as many one-on-one matchups in this one as much as you can. And it speeds up the game for Shedeur, which anytime you speed the game up for a rookie, let alone a rookie that's got 6 interceptions in the past 3 games, you're probably going to create some more interceptions.
And as much as I want to see Ramsey hang back at safety, I mean, I almost want to see him just follow Harold Fannin wherever he goes, because I think if you take that away, Shedeur could really, really struggle.
That's a good note, because I've seen it. It looks like he is going to be in the nickel packages. He's going to be in the nickel. So he's coming back down into the slot. So that's a good call out. And I agree with you. I number one, we have, even without Eccles and without Pierre, I still think we have the guys that we can run man-to-man coverages, because Ramsey is a big body guy. Fanning's athletic, but I mean, even as diminished as Ramsey's athleticism has become, he's still athletic enough to follow a tight end around the field. And that's their top weapon at this point. So no David Njoku, that helps us out tremendously if we want to run that as well. So Yeah,
And Joey Porter's got to have a big game on Judy.
he does. And he's been playing just fantastic ball. So I feel pretty good about that. I know Judy ate him up before, but I feel a lot better about it now because he was pretty handsy with Judy in that game. I think, did he have 2 flags in that game where he also gave up 100 and something yards
Pass
to Judy?
interference, yeah.
Yeah, I think he had 2 flags for pass interference. So, like, when he starts getting a lot of flags, it kind of changes the way he plays. But, yeah, I think that's a good call.
Mr. Korb has joined the chat. We just want to point out that before we got temporarily banned for a few minutes, you were a big part of the film package. So hopefully if it's available, you can go back and watch it.
You definitely were. All right. Go ahead. You can kick off the number 2.
Yeah, I think this is the game where we may realize Dylan Cook is not the long-term answer at left tackle, but I don't think he's going to play badly. I mean, we'll just say that Myles Garrett is better than Dylan Cook, and we've got a game plan around it. I feel like we got a chip. We got to find ways to be creative to help him and shift protection.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was a play that I also watched where the Buffalo Bills kind of shifted protection. Myles Garrett he was kind of on one side by himself. They had I think it was Mason Graham lined up in the A gap on the same side, but he slanted down toward the left side away from Myles Garrett, which I don't know why they do that at times. It's just different alignments. But the way that they did that, it allowed the guard and the tackle to go pick up Myles Garrett. And it was another easy thing. And they lined up the receiver top and tried to force him inside to where they had help for both guys. But I think it is. Myles Garrett is the key to this game on our offense. You have to slow this guy down. I'll tell you what, Dylan Cook, buddy, if you want to get fucking paid, this is the game to do it. You show up today. Not only could you be the full-time starter moving forward, but you could get a lot of money out of this game if you play well against Myles Garrett.
He really could, but I mean, that being said, I still think Mr. Korb pointed out in chat he looked better than Broderick Jones. No, but he is playing a very serviceable left tackle. We'll see today what he looks like. I mean, now if he goes out and somehow dominates Myles Garrett, then he could become the new Dan Moore, as long as it's not like they covered up for Dan Moore. Yeah, and let's face it, do observers have a point that the Steelers did everything they could to scheme up where there's no way he could get home against Dan Moore? Okay, maybe. So they know how to do it. The question is, will they do it?
Yeah, and I think ball control is going to be a big part of this game too. So slowing down Myles Garrett helps you stay ahead of the, down a distance type things, stay ahead of the sticks, keep the ball moving, keep the offense on the field. Myles Garrett could wreck all of those things. So you have to have a game plan for him each and every play. It's not just the pass downs. You have to have a game plan for him every play.
I would also push back. I don't think the difference in the line has been Dylan Cook. I think Mason McCormick, since the Green Bay game, has played really well when he kind of got embarrassed by Micah Parsons coming up the middle on him. I think he's played a lot better since then, and I think that's a huge key to the line because now it seems like the right side of the offensive line is really a strength with McCormick and Fatanu, and then, of course, you got Frazier in the middle.
Yep. I think the offensive line has grown. This is really year 2 of these guys all being together. And I just think they have grown. And it usually takes 3 years for an offensive line to truly gel and truly come together. I think these guys are just kind of finding their footing at this point, and they're playing a lot better football. So
it's going to be interesting because we might be starting over at left guard in the offseason. Yeah. We probably are starting over at left guard in the offseason, which will make a big difference of how, if they bring in a rookie, all of a sudden Dylan Cook, Broderick Jones, that doesn't look as appealing if you don't have a solid left guard to sit there and kind of help remind them where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because he and Spencer Anderson, no Isaiah Isaac Sayamalu in this game. We're going to see how the communication works because Dylan Cook did talk about after his game last week that Isaac Sayamalu was a big factor for him and where he's picking up stunts and where he's supposed to be, aligning and which guy he's picking up in different alignments from the defensive line. So, like, he did give a lot of credit to Isaac Sayamalu helping him. And without him being in there, now you start to see, like, can he and Spencer Anderson have that same communication? We'll find out today.
Absolutely.
The third key to victory is Kenneth Gainwell, Jalen Warren. They have to get the run game going to open up the pass game. I think that's a massive piece. Cleveland's defense just does not give up a lot of yardage. They're second in the league in yardage allowed. So I said it earlier. I'm going to say it again. Yards are definitely going to be at a premium in this game. And you have to establish the run game to open up some of the pass game, especially with no DK Metcalf. Adam Thielen, he's been a nice breath of fresh air. Had 50 yards last week. He's a lot better against zone, and Cleveland's not going to run a lot of zone. They're going to run a lot of man-to-man. You're going to need some guys to start winning their one-on-ones, and the way that you can help with that is establish the run game, get some play-action pass game going. That's going to allow some of these guys to really start to open the things up. And because yards are at a premium, when we have opportunities for big plays, you've got to make the big plays. So like the MVS play down toward the goal line in the last game where you just get a fingertip on it, you can't haul it in, those have to be caught. I mean, that's just the way this kind of game goes. So if you want to have a big victory, you have to convert all of your big play opportunities.
I will say this, if they play a lot of man and Scotty Miller is running the crossers that Calvin Austin usually sort of runs, I think Scotty Miller breaks one here. We'll get to a bold prediction in a minute, but I do think if they go man and it's a wet field, that Scotty Miller coming across the field, their speed is going to be a problem because they are not going to have their top corners on him.
Yeah. And I'll say this. I actually think Adam Thielen can get by in this game. Even though he's not great out of man coverage, he's a very savvy route runner. He's a vet, and he's a big guy. Like, he's got good size to him. So sometimes he wins just off of his play strength alone. So I would look out for that, but I think the tight ends are going to play a big factor in this game, in the passing game. Outside of, let's be honest, the running backs are going to lead it. Kenneth Gainwell's probably going to lead the team in receptions.
I do feel like there's going to be a shot there early in the game they're going to suck up and attack Gainwell. They're going to expect those 1 or 2 yard screen passes. And I think there's going to be a shot down the field. The question is, who's going to catch it?
I have that in my bold prediction, Bob.
Well, let's go to the bold predictions. Yes.
MVS gets a 40-yard plus touchdown reception in this game. That is my bold prediction. Exactly what you're saying. We try to pound the ball out a little bit, get them to draw in. MVS gets one deep, big 6'4" frame. Aaron Rodgers is dying to get him on a big touchdown. Hit one the first game, almost hit one the second game. MVS gets a 40-yard touchdown reception.
Yeah, I also think there's going to be big plays in the passing game, but I don't think it's going to necessarily be MVS, although I do think it's there for him. I think it's Pat Darnell. I think the Browns will pay a little bit too much attention to MVS. Excuse me. Unlike most of the Steelers today, I am playing with a cold. So, but I think Pat could be a real big factor. He has started to establish trust with Aaron again. And of course, Darnell. And I think combined, they're going to catch 10 passes, 150 yards and a touchdown.
Bob doesn't take any off days, fellas. Just so you know, Bob will tough it out.
But yeah, that I really feel like Pat is going to be a big part of the game plan there.
I hope he is, because number one, we're paying him like a top 10 tight end in the league, and we use him like a bottom third tight end in the league. Darnell, there's Corb coming in for you. I could definitely see Darnell having a good game in this one.
And let's face it, the undersized Cleveland, like we're talking about, linebackers and secondary, he could be a real problem for them.
Problem. Oh, I definitely want to see Darnell get loose on one and just watch these guys try to tackle him, because it's an adventure every week. But when you have undersized linebackers and some DBs that are, Denzel Ward. I love Denzel Ward. He's a Buckeye. I've always thought he's been a top 8 cover corner in the league for a long time. He's a great man-to-man corner. But let's be honest, Denzel Ward wants no part of Darnell Washington coming at him, because he's not a very big guy either. Tyson Campbell's not very big. It's my favorite thing every single week is when Darnell gets loose and just watch these guys try to tackle him.
Yeah, and of course, truth be told, if you're in a fantasy championship today and you have access to Kenneth Gainwell, get him in the game. Yeah,
I got him in both leagues starting.
Yeah, like I know John last week said he started in a semifinal game on the fantasy podcast that he started Gainwell and Jalen together, and boy, did that work out.
Oh yeah, good Lord, that's a ballsy move too, because it's almost like somebody's not going to get there, and he definitely did.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Corb, I forget how I got to the championship, and yeah, oh, that's right, I ran through you in both leagues.
That's funny. Now, that being said, like we said earlier at the top of the show, looks like it's going to be a little bit of a factor. So this could be a sloppy Steelers. I know, Trent, you picked 19-13.
I did. I'm staying with that too.
I think it's going to be sloppy too. I just feel like either between Shador or late in the game, we're going to wear them down enough where it's going to be a 13-10, 14-10 type of game. And then we're just going to get a late touchdown. That's why I picked 23-10. Only thing I might come off of is 21-10. I definitely feel good about the under in this game, by the way.
I saw a stat I wanted to point out too. I know it was from Nick Farabaugh. There was a officiating stat. I'm not going to be able to find it right away very quickly. Sorry.
Well, with this crew?
Yeah, with the officiating crew and the home field advantage, they win like 74. In divisional games, this officiating crew, the home team wins 74% of the games. So that's why anybody predicting like this big blowout, I don't see it. The weather playing into this thing, it's going to have a factor. Now, I'll say this, Aaron Rodgers throwing in the weather versus guys we've had in the past, I feel a lot better about. Without DK Metcalf, the receiving core that we have, you could be right. Scotty Miller could have a nice, role in this game. So
I just Googled the crew. John Hussey is the official. And the first thing they say is this is a crew known for calling defensive pass interference. So,
well, Joey Porter, be prepared.
And let's hope it goes the other way. Maybe some Denzel Ward on Thielen or somebody else.
Yeah.
Which is really too bad that DK's not playing, because this could be a game where he would have a huge influence.
Yep, for sure. We're going to have to manufacture ways to win this game. And, honestly, it's going to be interesting to watch the linebackers playing against Kenneth Gainwell as well, because as much as we all loathe Devin Bush, one thing that dude has always been able to do is run. Now, Kenneth Gainwell is a different animal from guys that normally come out of the backfield, because you can line this guy up in the slot and run him like a wide receiver, which is why I think he's going to lead the team in receptions today, because he's probably going to be playing as a receiver a good bit in this game. But I wouldn't be surprised if this thing's a little bit low scoring and pretty close. I think this thing stays tight. I don't think it gets out of hand unless Shador allows the game to get out of hand. If Shador starts turning it over left and right, that could help us out.
the Steelers had this crew against the Bears, which
Yes.
turned out to be a pretty close game. I don't see Cleveland being able to run the ball like Chicago did. So I feel like
Or Caleb Williams going off on us like he did. I mean,
Yeah.
Shadur's probably not going to go off like Caleb did, because actually we held the Bears down pretty well. Neither back went over 100 yards.
Yeah.
I think they only had, I don't even know if they hit 100 yards as a team that game. I can't remember now. But yeah, I agree.
This is a game where they have to be so motivated to know all the injuries, the suspension. This is a 3-win team. I know it's Cleveland. I know it's a huge rivalry game. But this is a game you have to win. You have to win this if you're seriously a contender, which I'm starting to believe that they are with Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is good enough to make the difference in this game. I do think he's going to be the guy who brings it home for us.
And Cora pointed out on the podcast on Friday, we've lost 3 in a row against Cleveland, and I think we're like 1-5-1 in the last 6. So this is not just because it's a 3-win team. We always know that the records go out the window in these AFC North games. It's always a fight. But if you can't beat this team to win the division and seal this thing up at this point, you don't deserve to host a home game in the playoff. And you had a stat earlier on the pre-show about how many times we've hosted lately. Do you saw that off the top of your head?
Yeah, it'll be potentially only the second game we've hosted in 10 years, which is crazy.
That should tell you everything you need to know about the motivation this team should have going into this game. And Derek Harmon playing in this game, I don't think he was there at the first Cleveland game. I think that makes a big difference for us. I mean, listen, I know everybody says, well, it's not one guy can't make that much of a difference. I'm sorry, but the statistics don't lie. When the guy plays, teams don't run the ball. And if you can't run the ball and you have to force Shadur to throw the ball, my God, that is best case scenario for us in this game, is to get that kid to throw the ball 35, 40 times. I mean, that's going to – you got 2 to 3 balls coming to our defense. As long as Chuck Clark can catch them, we should have 2 to 3 interceptions in this game.
Well, one thing to remember, too, now this streak against Cleveland was basically Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, Russell Wilson. These kind of guys are mostly – Ben was 12-2-1 against Cleveland in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is on that level, so I do feel a little bit better about the fact that Aaron is the quarterback today. And I think a lot of the trepidation, the nervousness that the Steeler fans have in games like this, you need to recognize the fact that this is not, even Ben, who would, hey, if he thought he was better than you, maybe didn't prepare as well as he should have. Mm-hmm. Rodgers is not that guy. Rodgers is, he seems to have command. He gets more command week by week, unless he just goes out and, I don't think he felt right against the Chargers, which I think was his worst game of the year. You could just tell he didn't want to be on the field. He didn't want to be there. Yeah. So if he goes out and he's dialed in like he was against Detroit, and he's like, hey, this is it. This is the division here today, boys. I think he's going to be dialed in.
Yeah.
Unless the NFL pulls some just ridiculous shenanigans to get this to Baltimore, Pittsburgh next week, I see a path where it's close, but I just can't see a path for Cleveland to win the game.
Cleveland should not win this game under any circumstances. I'm sorry, but Quinshon Judkins is the piece that makes the entire engine go. He's not there. You don't have David Njoku, who really is their second biggest weapon. Judy's a fine player, but Judy's not a good receiver. God, he's dropped a shit ton of balls this year.
Yeah.
Aaron has looked out in since that Buffalo game. That Buffalo game flipped a switch for him. We've been talking about this for weeks. You can see that I think he and Arthur Smith need to have a good game plan going into this game. I'd love to see some mesh concept stuff in the pass game. I'd love to see a lot of crossers, a lot of quick hitting slants. Scotty Miller, if they play Roman Wilson, these quick shifty guys, it's probably going to be some Kenneth Gainwell. I want to see some quick hitting passes that go for 5 yards, not the shit behind the line of scrimmage. Because Cleveland's going to be attacking. They're going to be downhill. They have always played downhill. Some of the outside screen passes and things that we like to do, those are not going to work in Cleveland. I'm sorry. It's just not.
Yeah.
Getting the quick slants, getting these quick hitters to Darnell. I mean, he's done that with Darnell a couple times where Darnell just releases off the line and he hits him real quick before anybody covers this guy because he's 6'8".
Yeah.
Letting Pat Fryermuth slip behind linebackers. Pat, I think, caught two touchdowns against Cleveland the last couple times we played. Am I right about that? Or did he slip 2 game-winning touchdowns or something like that?
He's sneaky effective against the Browns, and I think he needs to be today. I mean, let's face it, just on ability alone, he's the best target we have on offense. And I know Aaron doesn't, although I feel like the last couple of games it's clicked.
It's coming
clicked a little bit. Like he's come off of Jonnu and he's looking for Pat. I just want to see Pat down the field a little bit. I personally, the play I want to see them run early in the game is that little Gainwell floats out and Aaron pumps the screen. It comes right back to Darnell on the backside. Because I think that pass is going to be wide open.
Actually, I wanted to check that because he has played better the last couple of weeks, targets and yardage.
I feel like there's trust there now. Not complete. He hasn't forgiven him for that drop or not running the right route on that short third down early in the season.
Yeah. Miami game, 5 targets, 3 catches, 45 yards. Detroit, 4 catches, 4 targets, 20 yards. Yardage wasn't big, but I mean, you can see the targets starting to get better because he had a 0 in Buffalo, 3 targets in Baltimore. It's been very weird between the two of them. It just it felt like he was looking for him and need moments, and you're gonna need him. You're gonna need him in this game, and Core agrees with you. He's getting into good graces a little bit more and more. You're gonna need him in this game. I'm sorry, but Johnny Smith is not the guy. He's not been the guy all year. It's got to be. I think game plan is going to factor into this game heavily. I think that Aaron Rodgers seeing the field and having the autonomy to just do what he wants out there, make checks like what we saw. If everybody's seen the Kenneth Gainwell clip by now from NFL Films, right? Like,
right.
That's just drawing a play up in the dirt with your running back / wide receiver. Those are the things that we need to see in this game. Aaron re-diagnose the defense and just pick this defense apart. Just stay the hell away from Myles Garrett. Don't let him break the record today.
You think there's any chance Aaron pulls Brett Favre?
I don't know.
Just look, if Myles Garrett is untouched and he's got a clean shot at Aaron, I'd rather he pulled the Brett Favre. I don't want him to take that hit.
Yeah. I don't either.
I mean, I don't think he'll just give it to him, but I mean, if he goes to roll and Myles Garrett is unblocked, I could see Aaron just going, "Oh hell no."
We're gonna live to fight another day.
Yeah, I'm not. I want to win the game. I don't really care if you get the sack record or not. I mean, I do.
Just lay down.
I would love for it to be a runaway thing in the first half. I don't think it's gonna be, but I would love it for that to be just so Mason could go out there and, as Myles is about to sack him,
I think it was Adam. I think it was Adam that pointed out he kind of disappears in December. And that half sack thing, that was a disaster. I don't know how they gave him a half sack for that Buffalo one with Josh Allen, but hey, maybe he'll disappear in this one too. I'd love to see him disappear for another game.
Maybe we could pull a longest yard here where we just, let him through and just drill him in the nuts with the football.
Oh, God.
I mean, let's think outside of the box here. You want
Just
the
say this.
record?
Say this one's for Mason.
Yeah, say, hey, here you go. Have fun trying to break the record next week, buddy.
Oh my God.
Hey, with the way Aaron Rodgers throws the ball,
That would not feel good.
Yeah, a couple times in a row, we might get him out for the game.
You'd be done. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So
There it is.
Any wild predictions? Bob's hot take. Any wild predictions for the game beyond my Marcus Valdez-Scantling or anything like that?
I don't know, because I mean, I don't feel like Colin Gainwell to have 10 plus targets would be a wild prediction, but I could definitely see Gainwell getting 10 plus targets in this game. Wild prediction. Well, Dave called for Nick Herbig to have a pick in this game.
Pick six?
Pick six. That was a wild prediction.
I'll give a wild prediction. I think we get our first Belly Selly. I think Wyatt gets a sack in this game.
All right. I like that. All right. If we're going with a wild prediction, this is a wild prediction. Chuck Clark actually fucking catches one of the interceptions that comes to him this time. That is starting to sound like a wild prediction because he's dropped about 7 this year.
If he does catch it, does he make a house call?
No, I don't have any faith. Just if he catches it and he doesn't go down, he might fumble.
That's true. I have a feeling if they do match Ramsey up on Fannin, that Ramsey will get one today.
He could. He definitely could. And he's due. He is definitely due.
It would be just the ultimate fuck you to Baltimore after they went out and played. To their credit, they remembered Derrick Henry was on the team and they handed him the ball over and over and over again. And he played a great game. The guy's a Hall of Famer. Kudos to him. But it would be lovely to just deflate their hopes and go, hey, you think Lamar's going to be healthy next week? Good. He's playing our third string.
Yeah. And we definitely need to get healthy for the playoffs. I mean, it'd be nice to be able to set Eccles, who's got a soft tissue with that groin, another week and get some of these guys, get TJ sat for another week, get healthy for the playoff. Like, please, for the love of God, just handle business and seal this thing up. And I'll say this, you pointed out Aaron earlier. Aaron is a killer. When games like this are on the line, Aaron's an absolute killer. He's going to look to finish this thing off.
Yes. And if you watch the games last night, that earlier game, I know some people are starting to get scared. We're going to see the Texans as the 5 seed. This is why I say I want Buffalo, because the alternative to Buffalo is Houston, and I don't want to see Houston before the championship game. I'm okay with seeing the Buffalo defense. I am. I think that was just a total abomination. And I think Steelers 10 years ago, Steelers under Cowher, Steelers under Noel, I would bet the house there's no way we lose that game. Under Tomlin, okay, I feel good that we would win the game, but we didn't have that. Under Cowher, under Noel, if you beat the shit out of us, I guarantee you the next time you play us, we got something for your ass when they get back out there.
Yeah.
And if we are truly a contender who can win games in the playoffs, give us Buffalo again, because you theoretically should be able to game plan and stop everything. You want to run the same running play 25 times in a row again? Guess what? It ain't going to happen. What else you got?
Can we get the Chargers back? Can we just get them back? Because I'll take the Chargers.
Yeah, ideally, yes. I see where you're going with that. The Chargers are doing their late season swoon. Maybe it wasn't just Brandon Staley. Maybe Justin Herbert is not the guy everybody thinks he is. Although he did play well. He did bring them back into that game. I mean, he did play pretty well yesterday.
I like Herbert. I think he's a good quarterback. A lot of these young guys don't really make a name for themselves until they win in the playoff. It's just the way it is. CJ will have that chance now again. You'll have Herbert going to have that chance. He does have one, right?
No, CJ's won 2.
Oh, that's right. He did win 2.
He's already got a little bit of a reputation of, hey, I don't lose in the first round. He hasn't won a second round game, but he wins, and he's generally not the reason they lose. Whereas Justin Herbert was the reason that the Chargers have been terrible in the playoffs. So I would kind of rather have CJ Stroud come playoff time than Justin Herbert. That doesn't mean he can't change his reputation. Peyton Manning was awful in the playoffs for the first 5-7 years of his career. So doesn't mean it's a permanent thing, unless you're Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. If Herbert needs some more help around him with the offensive line being banged up, but CJ, man, them receivers, they're starting to get hot. CJ and the receivers starting to get hot. That offense starts matching up with that defense. Good God, they're going to be they have a legit shot to get to the Super Bowl. A legitimate shot.
I think so too, because it doesn't matter where they play. That defense comes with them, and good luck. I mean, they haven't been as good the last 2 weeks, but they're still pretty damn good.
But they're doing enough to win. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That offense is starting to come along with them. That offense keeps cooking, putting up points with that defense. They're going to be a tough out.
And Greg points out that, the revenge game against Indy in the 2005 playoffs really kind of catapulted that team. Once they beat Indy, you knew they were going to smack Denver around in Denver. It didn't matter, even though on paper Denver was theoretically the better team. There's something about him with Aaron Rodgers the reason I say catch the Bills early, not late, is because if you catch them late in the championship game or the divisional round, then Josh Allen might be feeling himself after a victory, and he's gotten going, and he realizes, hey, maybe I am the best quarterback in the AFC this year, and he gets on a roll. I think his butthole will be tightest. We already got part of this video banned, so I think his butthole will be tightest in the first game.
Yeah. Josh Allen scares the shit out of me. I want no part of that guy. But you're right. The defense is definitely nowhere near the level of. I mean, even the Chargers. The Chargers defense is definitely much better than Buffalo's defense. The Texans is not even close. I totally see your point. Josh Allen, man. He puts that fucking Superman cape on at times in the playoffs and just takes games over. That part scares the shit. You would have to keep him off the field for sure.
It's kind of a pick your poison.
Yep.
Would you rather go against Josh Allen, who can take over a game, no doubt about it? Or would you rather go against that Texans defense? I think I'd rather go against Josh Allen. Because I do not feel good about matching up with that defense. Because they don't have to double DK. They don't. And that's the scariest thing. Well, hey,
Stingley can go one-on-one.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, now you got a very good pass rush, very good linebacker. Shair is a guy who I desperately wanted the Steelers to sign in free agent a couple of years ago because I think he's just got attitude up the ass and hits like a brick. That guy, now he's kind of dirty. I will say that.
Ask Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. But that being said, I'm okay with a kind of dirty player. I mean, as long as he's on my team. He's not Vontaze Burfict dirty.
No.
But he will take a shot if it's there. I don't know if you saw this report. Fred Warner is now questionable for the playoffs. He has worked his way back. They did a big story on that last night that he might play if they get to the playoffs. I
did not see that. That's oof. He's a beast.
And all San Francisco's got to do, doesn't matter what happens today. Seattle, it could beat Carolina, which I think they will. San Francisco's got to take care of business, and that's the last game of the year. 49ers versus Seahawks, and whoever wins that game has home field. I still think it's the 49ers because it's at. And by the way,
you've been on that train for a while.
Yeah, if the 49ers do pull it off, that means they're home through the Super Bowl because the Super Bowl is in San Francisco.
Crazy stuff. I agree with this comment too.
Every team that I totally agree. I cannot remember a playoffs like this since the 90s.
This thing's wide open.
Yeah.
I mean, it is wide open for sure. So
I mean, honestly, that's why I'm so glad Kansas City. Not that I wish ill on Mahomes. I like him. I think he's a good player. But I'm so glad Kansas City's not in this because they would have figured out a way. Mahomes stepped on the field, he just would have beat you.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. It's ridiculous what they do once the playoff time rolls around.
Yeah.
So
all right. Well, let's get ready for what we hope will be a Steelers victory Monday. I've got the eggnog and vanilla crown on deck, along with a bunch of Dayquil, so I can stay awake and hopefully watch this. Actually, I kind of hope it's a snoozer. Maybe we get out to a huge lead, but who knows? Steelers will play for.
I hope not. I hope you're wrong about that one.
I kind of disagree on this, and kind of what we talked about earlier. I think the huge difference in this game is the quarterback. I think Aaron will figure out a way to do just enough to get it done.
Yep. He knows how to play chess.
Yes.
We'll figure it out.
All right, guys. Well, hopefully we'll see you for Steelers victory Monday. I doubt there'll be a post-game stream unless it's a wild finish. We'll be back tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Till then, thanks for watching the War Room, and we will see you guys next week against Baltimore.
Oh, there's the money shot, baby.